TV, www.witchcrafttv.online. And this is the WitchCon Presenter Series. And we have a very special guest backstage. But before I have him come on screen, we're going to run that intro. See you real soon. Michelle, coming all the way from Brazil, you said. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm Michel Valim. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I'm a witch. I'm a eclectic witch. I've been in witchcraft for 15 years, I guess. I started in 2010, and now more than 10 years practicing witchcraft, and I have a priesthood for Aphrodite and Dionysus, and the priesthood in the religion of Antinous in an order that it's called Temple of Antinous, the gay god. Yeah. Oh, I'm a non-binary person. I'm gender fluid, and I use all the pronouns he, she, they. But preferably, I think they will fit better.
When did you first know that you are a witch? How did that come to be in your mind, your psychology? How did you find this out?
Well, it was long ago when I was just a kid, I guess, when I discovered I used to watch a lot of Scooby Doo cartoons, and I remember a movie, animation movie of Scooby Doo, that Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost. And in that movie, Velma, she talks about Wicca, and she explains that Wiccans are those ancient witches that worship the nature and the gods, ancient gods, and heal with her herbs and something like that. And I was like, oh my god, is this real? Is does this exist? And I was raised in an evangelical family. My mother is evangelical Christian, and I didn't like Christianity. And I remember that my mother used to bring me to the church, to the Bible school for children. I don't know if there's a thing in the United States or other parts of the world, but it's something that occurs here in Brazil in some evangelical churches, that parents bring their children to a Bible school to get there, like a daycare. And I used to hate being there, hearing about Bible and Christianity, and I thought, oh my God, this is not for me. I don't believe in all of that. And I remember that talking with my cousin, we talked about the Wicca thing about that was talked in Scooby Doo movie, and she bought some magazines about Wicca. I was about like 12 years old, I guess, in the beginning of the 2000s. And that moment, Wicca was a very hit thing here in Brazil. It was a trending thing in Brazil in the beginning of the 2000s, and that was the first time that I heard about witchcraft as a thing, as a spirituality that was not satanic, that was not something evil, that was not something that I've learned from my mother's church. And that thing made me feel so like enthusiastic about it. But my mom was evangelical. I couldn't read more about it, and I waited to turn to 18 years old, and when I major, and I started to go to the library, to the bookstore, and I bought my first books about witchcraft, and I started to read and read and read many books I could. I remember that one moment that I didn't have enough money to to buy more books. I just sat at the on the floor of the bookstore and started reading almost all the entire book that I found on the shelf. And I discovered communities and blogs on social medias about witchcraft and Wicca and neo paganism. And I started to go to some meetings, some gatherings, some public gatherings with other pagan people here in Rio, and some people helped me to get more knowledge, more information. I was presented to some groups. I also ended up entering a coven, a Wiccan coven, and I was initiated. I stayed there for I think 5 years, and then I realized that okay, I'm not. I think I'm not Wiccan, but I think I'm an eclectic witch. And then I just left my coven, and I started a practice with myself with this eclectic witchcraft, and deepening my connection with my patron gods, that is Aphrodite and Dionysus. In the meantime of all those things, I also ended up being initiated into the Temple of Antinous, because the first Brazilian priest of the religion of Antinous, the Temple of Antinous, Brazil, Deco, he got so enthusiastic about initiate me, and I was like, okay, I feel attracted to this, and I want to be part of it. And here I am, being a witch and part of the religion of Antinos, that is a neo-pagan religion of LGBT people.
So you can be found on Instagram. You have Instagram account on Michel Valim. I think I hope I didn't mispronounce the French. Online at Instagram.com. It's right on the screen as you see. Do you teach witchcraft on your Instagram account? In any aspects? Is that what you do? Teach the craft there?
Yeah, I have some
What
courses. I have a mentorship of Aphrodite and Dionysus, and I have a course on witchcraft, how to create your own path in a solitary practice. And I also I teach an oracle called Witches Rooms. I'm a specialist here in Brazil in this oracle. I read this oracle for clients, and I teach this in a course. And I also published a book independently about this oracle here in Brazil in 2022.
what other publications do you have? Have you published other magazine articles or books or anything like that?
Books, not yet. I want to publish more books about my path and other subjects about witchcraft. I intend to publish a book about Aphrodite and one about Dionysus. But a curious thing is that here in Brazil, I suddenly became a reference to many Aphrodite devotees, because I created a YouTube channel to talk about the cult of Aphrodite, and I didn't expect much about this channel. I just started posting some videos there talking about the cult of the goddess, and suddenly I got many views, and people searching for me on my Instagram, wanting to know more about Aphrodite, wanting to get connection with the goddess, and sometimes I became this reference to many devotees. And I also was interviewed for an online magazine here in Brazil when I was in the Wiccan Coven. I talked about Wicca and explaining how it works, and I was very happy with this recognition with my practice, and I intend to publish more books, but I'm a little bit lazy to write, guys. I don't want to lie. I love reading books, but I'm a little bit lazy to write. But in my on my Instagram, you can also find some texts that I talk about many knowledge about witchcraft, and that's it.
What is the first thing that you teach students that come to you that want to learn about witchcraft? What is the first thing that you teach them?
That's a very good question, because when neophytes, initiates come to me to ask this question, what can I have? What can I do to start practicing witchcraft? And the first thing I say is, well, you have to love reading and getting knowledge, because you have to read a lot. You have to get this love for getting more knowledge to complete your wisdom about spirituality, about mythology, about what you're intending to worship. I say about gods, for example, when people ask me about, what can I do to start worshiping Aphrodite, and I say, well, you have to study about the goddess, study her myths about ancient Greece, and learn about the context of her background. And that's the first thing that I say. You have to get knowledge. You have to read more books that you could, because that's essential for you to know what you're doing, and to also understand understand what you're doing, and also explaining to yourself and to other people what you're doing in a very wise way, because I think witchcraft is a path of wisdom, of self wisdom, of self awareness, and to you become like yourself honor. You own your destiny, and in order to do that, you need to know yourself. You need to get the knowledges to structure what you're intending to do, what you're intending to build for your practice. And I always say, study mythology, study about spirituality, about hermetics laws, Kybalion, many things you can to study, to understand how nature works, how you will build your practice based on a nature cycle, or another kind of practice that connects to the movements of the nature, to be synced with the nature, with the land spirits, with the ancestors, with the gods. And so that's my advice for initiate when they ask me.
Out of all of the living elders of the craft in the world today, who is most dear and special to you? Who do you admire? Who do you look up to?
Oh, that's a hard question, because I have many people that I get inspired of. But I think I love Starhawk. The Spiral Dance, her book is very amazing. It's popular here in Brazil, this book. It was published the first time here in, I think, 1992, in the beginning of the 90s. And it became very famous here in Brazil among the witchcraft community. And Starhawk, I think Laurie Cabot is also a great inspiration. I think not only for me but for many witches. At least here in Brazil, many people uh, love her books. The Power of the Witch, for example, and wow, I think they both Starhawk and Laurie Cabot are an inspiration to me. I'm trying to remember other things that are still living because I have some that already passed, uh, like Raymond Buckland. I like a little bit of Scott Cunningham. I know that he's how can I say for some people in Wicca, he's like, I forgot the word. I mean in Portuguese say polêmico, like polemic, but I forgot the word in English. Controversial. For some people in witchcraft, Scott Cunningham was very controversial, but I like some contents that he has in some of his books about natural magic. And yeah, I used to love the Stewart Janet and Stewart Farrar. I used to love them as well. Yeah, I think them.
So I would like to ask you about WitchCon now. How did you get involved, or how did you hear about WitchCon to be presenting in 2026 here in February?
Wow, this is my third time, I guess, on WitchCon. It happened suddenly out of nothing. I still don't believe how this. Don't understand how this happened. I think was something magical because out of a sudden, Christian Day came to me on my Facebook Messenger and saying, "Oh, I was seeing your content on your page, and I see that many people like you and like your content, and I think you're very popular. I can see that you're popular, and I want you on WitchCon." And I was like, "Really?" I'm not a I'm not a famous witch internationally to that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, is that really happening?" And I got really nervous, but I accepted because this it really was magical to me. And I think the first thing that I talked about on which it was about the oracle of the witches' runes. And I ended up being so happy because people that attended my workshop got so enthusiastic about my content, and many people uh, pay me compliments about my content on the workshop. And I was like, okay, that's good. I'm gonna try next year. And last year I talked about glamour magic with Aphrodite, and this year, that is my third time, I would talk about the religion of Antinous, the Antinoism, and how about this neo-pagan religion that is to my third time on WitchCon, and very nervous as well. I always get nervous because English is not my first language, and I have to prepare myself psychologically for that because it's not that easy to pass informations in another language that is not your maternal language. But I'm excited. I'm very excited.
If someone would cast, would work with, let's say, Aphrodite for a Bazazzo love spell, um, what I'm not so sure that casting a love spell on somebody is very good. I think that would be very baneful, or could be bad. But say if you want to empower a love that already is, how would
Mhm.
you do so with Aphrodite, the goddess of love in the Greek pantheon?
Yeah, I work a lot with her to my clients for love spells, because there are some troubles in some relationships that needs to intervene with the magic to help get better with the relationship. And I used to I'm used to helping some clients with that. I don't like to do love spells like in Brazil we call that amarração, which I think in English is called, I don't know, binding someone, like when you like uh, always like arrest someone in this energy to be together. I don't like to do love spells like that when the both people or one of the two persons are not involved in desire or in feeling with that person. And whenever I some clients look for me to do a love spell, I tend to open my oracle to read about the situation and know exactly what is going on, or to confirm what's going on. And when it's valid, I do the love spell, and to help people with that are passing some trouble in the relationship, or people that a couple that love each other, and suddenly something happens and they get apart. And some client comes to me to asking for help to fix this relationship. And these things I do with love spells with Aphrodite. Not only that, but I work with glamour magic. So I help many women here in Brazil that has problems with her their self-esteem. They're not empowered, and they need help to be more empowered, more self-loving, and need more self-esteem, needs to feel more sensual, more need more seduction, more sensuality, more beauty, recognize their beauty. I help them with this glamour magic, and I have some feedbacks of many clients that thanked me with that, because after the glamour ritual, they felt very beautiful with themselves, looking to the mirror and loving what they see. And I also have some feedbacks of these women that when they were passing on the streets, people were like turning their necks to look at them, and people paying compliments to them and say, what have you done to you? You're looking more beautiful. You're looking prettier. And they say, well, I did nothing. And that's incredible. I get so happy with these results, with those outcomes of the glamour rituals. And I'm also an holistic therapist, and I work with color therapy, and I study crystal therapy. I study essential oils, and Reiki. I work with shamanic Reiki, Mahio Reiki. I don't know if you guys know about this Reiki. And I also help people with my therapies, my holistic therapies, and I love to do that.
Can you give me a quick let's see example of like a charming spell that you could do? Is it just like wearing like a pretty oil, or maybe wearing different colors? Or I think being charismatic has a lot to do with this. Like being bright and cheerful is just kind of vibrational energy is kind of very contagious. How do you? What would be a good example of a charming spell? It's just like something you are, or is it something you do?
Yeah, I think that your beauty is inside of you. It's something that emanates outside from yourself, and you have to find your own beauty within yourself, and it has to blossom outside. And I always say I always teach some people to do some like a glamour bath. Prepare a bath with some rose petals and a cinnamon stick. You can put some essential oil of vanilla, and you can boil this on the stove, prepare, and you bring to your bathroom, and you can light a candle, light a golden candle, for example, and you call for Aphrodite to help you shine like gold, because Aphrodite is known for many hymns as shining as a gold, and you just s- pour your bath from your head to toe, and then you imagine yourself, you close your eyes and visualize, imagine yourself shining as pure gold, as your whole body is shining golden. And at the moment you say loud and clear, as you're saying to Aphrodite and the gods above, you say, "Oh, goddess and gods, testify this. I'm complete to myself. My bright is infinite." And you visualize this golden light going out of your own body and spreading around you, and you're involved like in a golden bubble that makes you shine in a glamour, in a sensuality, in a charisma, in magnetism. I taught this bath to some people, and they got some results about it. That after the bath, they were feeling more sensual, more like magnetic. I had a feedback from a woman that she said after the bath, she felt that she got thinner, and a friend of her asked her, what did you do? You're thin, or you get thinner. And she said, I did nothing. And she started to feel more magnetic to herself, and to love more what she's seen in the mirror. And that's incredible. I think Aphrodite's power is incredible.
It certainly is. What is your final words of wisdom and advice to people, individuals that find the craft new in their lives and they're just starting out on their path? What is your advice to them?
Wow, I think just enjoy your path, just enjoy your practice. Many people tend to look for some initiation titles, and or I have to be part of a tradition or a coven to be validated or something like that. And just enjoy your practice, because you can build your own practice with the tools you have at the moment, and make the most you can, the best you can with the tools you have at the moment in your hands, and create things with them. Be creative with them, and start creating your own spells. Don't rely on made up spells, like a recipe, like a cake recipe. You can build your own spells by studying correspondences, color correspondences, or astrological correspondences, and you can build your own spells and structure your own practice, your own path, and just be open to your creativeness, to your own self. Just be yourself, and if you're genuine to to who you are, to yourself, to your self magic, things will start to happen, like happened to me, to ended up being on WitchCon, and I think that's magic.
Thank you for that sound advice. Thank you for coming on the Lone Wolf Show right here on Witchcraft TV on www.witchcrafttv.online. Blessed be all the way to America and Brazil. We love you and merry part, and may we merry meet again.
Bye.